Got him! Got him! Wait! What's up, guys? It's a beautiful day out, and Kobie and I hooked up the Ranger this morning. Went for a little drive. We're out here exploring a new lake today. It should be pretty fun. Had to drive a little ways, but it should be worth it. And we got a ton of rods on the deck, all different types of stuff. We just kind of got to figure out what's going on. So at first impressions, we pulled into the lake. There's a bunch of dollar pads. The water's real dark. We did see some rock right by the landings. We got some laydowns. The thing that we noticed immediately is that there was tons of bluegills up shallow in the grass. So it's probably what we're gonna go look for first. Go throw some swim jigs around, bladed jigs, that sort of thing. Bluegill-imitating baits. But we got a ton of stuff on the deck, and come on, got him. Can I get him up and out is the question. Not a bad one. Oh, flip him. Boy, not a bad one for our first fish on the new lake. He really crunched that swim jig. Just throwing it up in these pads. Like we said, there's a bunch of bluegills and stuff around, so just my favorite way to imitate bluegills is throwing a swim jig through the grass. So we'll get him back. Nice paddle tail on there, nice big profile. Straight braid, tons of fun. Check that out. Kind of what we're dealing with. This is a really interesting lake. It's a really interesting lake. I don't know, we're just, oh, there's a really nice bass right there. Oh, got him. Oh man, that was so cool. Oh man, no way. So I just caught this one. Get him up in here. Another decent fish. I mean, brand new lake. Never really been out here. Munched a swim jig. And I was just talking, there's some like weird rock right here. I don't know if you can see it on my chest cam, but like boulders mixed in with these pads. I saw this fish swim off of one of the boulders and just pitched my swim jig at him and he just crushed it. It's always fun when you can watch him eat it. Like I was saying before, right when we put in on this lake, the first thing Kobie and I noticed is that there's a bunch of bluegills inside the grass right at the landing. And so there's not what we've seen, we haven't seen a ton of grass, but you can see what we're fishing here. This is just pads. There's a lot of dollar pads. These are more normal pads, if that's what you want to call them. But there's a lot of rock mixed in it, which is different. It's definitely something we don't see a lot. But my favorite way to imitate a bluegill is a swim jig. I just think it's, I mean, you look at those colors, you look at that little paddle tail on there, it's an awesome profile. You can fish it on straight braid, you can fish it through the grass really, really well. And I mean, when they're feeding on bluegills, it's really tough to beat a swim jig. Oh, there's a bass right on that rock. So they are. Oh, he turned. No way, no way, no way. I did it again. Not a huge one, but it's just, so this is 3 fish out of this little lily pad pocket, and it's not a big fish, but I guess I'm just kind of sight fishing with a swim jig, I suppose. Just kind of cruising up shallow. I just really wanted to see what the back end of this little pocket looked like, and there's all these little clusters of rock, which is really interesting. And it seems like every time I see a cluster of rock, there's a fish that swims off of it. So that tells me that that's probably what we need to go look for, is some more rock, which it seems like it's pretty prevalent, so. Got him. Awesome. I wasn't even watching. Nice one. Not a bad one. What do you eat?
Little popping frog. Just bro. Popping.
He was in like dirt shallow.
Super shallow.
Yeah.
It was just a random rock.
It would have been interesting.
interested to see if
There we go. Baby. Little tiny one. Boy, they're just freight training this thing though. Little tiny guy. Oh gosh. Not a big one. Boy, they're just smashing it. Whoop, whoops, sorry buddy. Sorry buddy. I don't like to do that, but sorry bud, just a baby. But they are just, I mean, they were just absolutely smashing this thing. And you know, I do sometimes, like, I don't know, depends on the day. If I'm skipping my swim jig a lot, I'll put more of a flat trailer, but we're kind of fishing more sparse cover, a little bit more open water. I'm not fishing a ton of laydowns and stuff where I'm not skipping it, so that's when I'll usually opt for more of a paddle tail. I think this is an X-Zone swammer. Good little profile there. Straight braid. I do like fishing it on more of a moderate rod with my straight braid. It just seems like that slower taper just gives them a little bit more time to eat it, and you can really drill them with that braid. So this is a 7.4 medium heavy moderate. It's got real nice tip on it, faster gear ratio reel, so real good stuff. Oh, get him out of there! Inside the laydown. Nice job, Kobie. And he just crushed that thing.
I was telling Mitch, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be good if I get blown up.
You navigated it well. Navigated it well. Nice job. Boy, we should catch one in here, I would think. Should we push way up into there? Oh my gosh, it was a huge pike and he bit me off. Holy cow, that scared the crap out of me. Kobie's setting the hook, scaring me. Just real scared right now. There's a bass right there. That's probably the... Don't have my swim jig on, so I'm just gonna see if I can flip a Tokyo rig on him.
Wow. That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
I don't think that's the same one that I saw, to be honest. I think that was a different one. Little Tokyo rig fish, not a giant, but I really like catching. Really like catching. We got Kobie's whipping around a frog. I just got bit off on my swim jig. That's kind of why, you know, you just, when you're exploring new lakes, it's just have a bunch of rods on the deck and, you know, use stuff you're confident in. You know, Texas rigs, I got Tokyo rig and a swim jig. Once I saw those bluegills this morning, was pretty, you know, kind of set in my mind that I was gonna lock a swim jig in my hand, and it's working so far. Oh
Oh my god.
Kobie
really
just keeps missing. He's just, no, they're eating it. He's just missing them. So. Fun day exploring new water. Boy, I don't have very many of those. And I know I don't have another one of those. So that sucks. There it is. There's Old Faithful. Just kind of wanted to, as I'm retying here, this one's a little beat up, but this is my last bluegill colored one. So as you can see, it's caught a few fish. But this is an Advantage swim jig. So I just started fishing these this year, really, and I've been fishing them a lot, and I have been super impressed with hookup ratios, how they swim, how they come through cover and everything. Obviously there's tons of different swim jigs on the market. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but you know, I've been really happy with this one, hookup percentage and everything. So check it out. There's a link down in the description for it. But yeah, just this one's my last bluegill colored one. Otherwise I'm gonna have to go to a white or a black and blue, but hopefully it gets munched a couple more times. Really good musky fishing, bass fishing. Good one? Good one. Nice.
Pick that, Mitch. May not catch a lot.
That's a good one. Nice job. Come up here, show the camera.
He got it.
That's fun.
Cute one.
Just kind of really throwing bluegill imitator baits around. Kobie just caught that one on this ChatterBait.
Pretty similar.
Swim jig.
Yeah.
Been catching fish. I mean, just kind of one of those deals. We're on the new body of water, and I don't know, we're fishing shallow. It's about, you know, when there's no mapping, you can see on the map, it's just there's one contour line at 10 feet, and so just kind of out exploring and throwing stuff up shallow in all these dollar pads. And it's definitely, we found that there's some nice fish in here. It's definitely one we'll come back to and explore a little bit more, but you know, we've got a little bit more shoreline to go here, but there's a couple other lakes in the area we're probably going to pull off here after we finish this little shoreline stretch and then get back to it. It's all these lakes based on satellite imagery are pretty much the same, and they look the same anyways, so fun exploring new lakes using confidence baits and catching them.